What's going on, guys? Going over meta tactics, but FC25, wherever I've been here. Just behind the scenes working on some things. If you're part of the Patreon, by the way, and we've already started FC25 videos, so if you want to sign up, I know people wait now at this time of the year, so you can sign up now. We've already released every single video where we talk about every single player role and what different kind of player roles they have. Now, talking about the 4-2-2, now at this stage of the year, you want to go back to the FC25. You want to go back to reality. All these players, these OP players, you want to stop with the 99s and you want to slowly bring yourself back to reality, because when a game comes out, you're going to be using goal players. You're not going to be using players that are incredible on and off the ball. So let's go to the tactics. There's a few things that's changed. Now, defensive style, we do know next year you can now adjust your depth as you could this year, but the defensive style is in line with that. So you can, if you want to, use whatever you want. Now, I know, actually, I'll make a video on a 4-3-2 100 depth later on, but I would say ease off this. Try to focus around 60 depth, because this was probably going to be the meta next year, as in you're not setting too deep, but your team is applying pressure. There was a deep dive, I think I uploaded it 3 days ago, where you can see about how the players, how they work out of possession, how the new tactics work, how the whole new depth system works as well. So the one thing they've changed is you can't adjust the width of your formation. So you know what? We're going to leave it at 50. Try to get yourself attuned to it. 50 is still a good width. If you've used this formation right now in FC24, you can. If you're a 20-0 player, you're still going to get this weekend league and you're still going to get 20-0 with these tactics. Don't worry. Now, the biggest thing they've changed this year is they've removed long ball. They have now fast build-up play, which is called counter-attack, but they've removed long ball. Now, unfortunately, as you know, for example, in formations with the lack of the get-it-behind instruction, as you can see, we've got get-it-behind for the strikers, but not those wide cams. That's not going to exist anymore in FC25. We have only balanced and we have counter-attack, which is kind of fast play. So they got rid of this whole long ball. So this is one of the few last times you can use long ball, and it's incredible how this is basically been the meta since it came out FIFA 19. No one used it at the beginning, everyone laughed at me, but now everyone, even pros, use long ball. It basically means get it behind, but since they're getting rid of that, go back to balanced. Get used to triggering L1 buttons on yourself. I'm telling you, if you don't learn L1 triggers now, you're going to be in big trouble for next year. Big trouble, because a lot of AI movement, players out of position, they're going to be relying on this, the player lock, and creative runs. Remember that. I've said this here. Chance creation, you can leave this on direct passing. Yes, I know they're removing this next year, but just to keep this formation viable, to have some movement, we kept direct passing on, and we kept the width on 50. So the width on 50 on both ends is completely fine. Don't worry about it too much. And players in the box, they removed next year as well. You can actually adjust this now with the D-pad tactics next year to have the get into the box. The get into the box, should I say, actual D-pad tactics still exists next year, but they got rid of things like hug the sidelines, unfortunately. I wish I didn't, because I want to hug the sidelines. And corners and free kicks can be adjusted, technically speaking, in the assignments page in FC25. But these are still very good tactics. You can use this. This is a good tactic to be in FC24, where you're still getting the higher ranks. If you're a 20-0 player, you're still going to get 20-0, for example. If you're getting 14 wins, you might get 15, 16, but it's not so far away where we're pushing you from reality and making you use bronze cards. Eventually, you're going to need to start using those, not bronze players, but gold players. As time goes on, it's going to be difficult, but try to take yourself back to a gold team. In fact, I'll suggest starting the game from scratch again. Maybe start a new account and go from Division 10 and see how far you get. Division's only getting harder next year. Don't get used to these players that are very effective on the ball. Now, what I'm going to give you is instructions that will be very similar. So this would be almost like what we're trying to replicate here is a poacher. Now, the poacher, I know in real life, a poacher is not what, but in FC, a poacher is a kind of a player that gets in behind. So we kind of got two strikers here on stay central and get it behind. We're trying to replicate those FC25 tactics to get you ready for it. Now, for the wide cams, we put them on balanced. Let them kind of do their own thing. Now, there is free roam next year, which is completely different. Free roam in FC25 is much more better. I can't talk about the beta, but FC25 free roam is very effective. You know, I've talked about this when I played the alpha, when I was allowed to talk about that. And I made a video on that. But in FC24, free roam is effectively useless. Now, for the CDMs, they've removed something which is very important. So both of them on stay back, cover center, stay back while attacking. But they removed cut passing lanes. The most important CDM instruction will no longer be inside the game. You have a deep line playmaker. You can play as that kind of that CDM that sits back, or you can play that CDM that kind of goes into even that center back role. You can do that if you want to. There's no stopping you. But they've restricted the cut passing lane instruction. So this instruction, to be honest, is the holy grail, and it's saved a lot of people, because when there's two players, let's say player A and player B, and you have player C over here, right? The AI will naturally move into the position to cut the passing lane out. You're going to lose that feature. Maybe the top tier players do that, but not every single player will do that with that instruction now. So remember that is going away. So I would recommend taking one of these players, ideally one them on like this, on balance and one on the snippet of attacking, just so you notice a difference yourself. You will see, for example, where you have to take control of that player and make sure you mark those passing lanes as opposed to relying on AI. Remember that. Very, very important, especially preparing for next year. Now, in terms of inverted fullbacks, you can't really do it. Okay, well, you can technically do inverted fullbacks, but in FC25, they play as centre mids. They can actually join the midfield four alongside Xavi and Stan, where you'll have Cole and Zambrotta coming inside. Now, you can't really replicate that. I mean, technically with like a 4-1-2-1-2 or 4-3-3, you can, but then Vert just doesn't work in this FC. So we got them both on stay back, and we got them on balance. Keep them simple, nothing too effective. Now, what you could do though is you could put them on balance. Now, don't forget, next year we do have attacking wing backs, which is basically similar to like join the attack, but you've got wing backs, attacking wing backs. So get used to those, because it depends on what you want to do. Next year, I can imagine myself playing at least one of the right backs or the left backs as kind of the player that plays as that centre mid role. So that's something that you can get used to as well. Both the centre backs on stay back, cover centre, stay back. The goalkeeper, next year, we're going to be using Super Keeper, is what I'm probably going to be using. But for now, you can leave them on default. These would be a very good tactic. Listen, these tactics are gonna help you get those more wins. It's a very, very viable meta tactic, but you're really going to have to start going towards doing things manually. Trust me, struggle now and laugh later, because I'm telling you, if you're sitting here watching this in your elite division now, I promise you will not get to the elite division in the first month. I promise you, because a lot of people, and again, I'm being honest here, but it's important I be candid with you, because I'm trying to make tutorials make you better, not lie to you, right? A lot of people in the elite division because of no relegation. Next year, there's going to be relegation from divisions 1 to 3, I believe, or 1 to 2, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not going to be as easy. So if you're just getting into elite division now and you're barely staying in there, expect yourself to be like in division 3. So remember, learn this now, stay ahead of the game. At least that way you get the more wins now. And as FC25 starts, you'll be ahead of the game. You want to be ahead of the masses. That's what you want to be. So remember, the L1 trigger is very, very important. If you don't know how to use the L1 trigger, you can learn that, of course, in the kickoff. Now, if you're part of the Patreon series, you're going to see the information in regards to the role. Patreon.com/NeilGuides. You can start now during the Patreon series. Don't forget, if you don't get after 1 month, we'll refund your money. That's the Neil Guides guarantee. If you start now, you would see also videos now leading up to the FC 24-25 preparation. And of course, the game comes out on the 20th. As we start making videos, you'll be seeing those as well. So perfect time to join right now. And of course, L1 trigger video, make sure you watch my videos on my YouTube channel. If you're part of the Patreon series, we've got it from FIFA 19. Don't worry, the logic still applies. 2-hour documentary on L1 trigger. Probably one of the most important videos I've ever made in my life. Can't even speak. Trying to keep this video as short as possible. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Take it easy. And of course, I will catch you next time. Adding some more formation videos coming up very, very soon, next couple of weeks, and some preparation videos. And I'll see you then. Peace out.